What up, fam? I want to get straight to the point. So, this video is really strange, and I think this is where crisis actors and those who fall into that category meet up at. In that same street, like like literally down that block, there's a bunch of cops there, and they don't even realize this or do anything about it. And then the clip at the end is just wild, and I wanted to include it. So let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe.
Crowds, but as they're making their way down the streets, as we're in a curfew, that they are much thinner than you'd see earlier in the day when they were actually allowed to be there on the streets, and getting caught up though in traffic, and also having cars follow along with them like a parade. Not so much here. There seems to be a car caught up in the crowd.
Uh-oh. Could this be our first incident of looting? We see people, it looks like, trying to break into a store. Some people maybe trying to get them out. This is not good. We've been avoiding this all day. We see people, this is in downtown that we're looking at now. A bunch of people headed towards one particular store. Not sure what it is, why so many people headed over there. But this is, and you see some people shooing them away. You wonder if that was an instance of looting or not. Thankfully, it seems like the crowd is getting shooed away, and it doesn't look like they're running away with a bunch of things, but that looked like the beginning of what could have been trouble, and thankfully it doesn't look like it is going to be, but we should keep an eye on. They just broke into the door there. So now you see all of these people heading in there.
And look at the residents there looking from their window, looking down on this, because as you know, downtown LA, people live above these businesses. Broadway and Fifth.
And this is what we've been avoiding all day. This is what we haven't seen. And you now see all these people running into this particular building. I mean, I guess it's possible that this isn't looting, but this is...
what's open at this hour?
You know, this is certainly what it has looked like, unfortunately, with the looting. Yeah, you see these people who are technically under curfew and abiding by the law in their windows, looking out their windows, and seeing all these people run inside.
I saw someone wave them in. So is somebody allowing them to go inside that location? I mean, it's all boarded up.
Unless say this is an apartment complex and those are people going in to go to one particular apartment. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to imagine that, but that's not likely what it is. You see this guy coming out with something in his hands. We'll see if these people come out with goods or anything. That would sort of be the giveaway that this was an instance of looting here.
It is a different feeling than we've seen in the past. I don't know if they're allowed to be in that location, but somebody was waving them in, and we haven't seen people come out with stuff. You did see that that's a building where people live. We saw people hanging out their window looking down upon them. Like you said, were they allowed, all those people allowed to come in? I don't know. Seems bizarre.
Hard to believe. That's sort of strange, whatever we just saw underway there. I mean, looked like, what, 30, 40 people all run in at the same time? And I guess our camera's moving elsewhere. I don't know if it's out of fuel or what. You see, look at that, all those LAPD cars that are just a few blocks away. You wonder if any of them are aware of what happened. Meanwhile, what is this picture?
Looks like an arrest of some sort. They're certainly taking down some... Oh, wow.
This is a picture from Hollywood. So, Christine, this is what we've seen. Kevin Takumi and Sky Fox overhead. Kevin, are we seeing an arrest here?
Yeah, a couple of things going on here simultaneously. There was the brown car you see off to the right side there that was spotted, possibly suspects looting. They were coming southbound here towards the march at a very high rate of speed. And as officers were working on that car, this guy threw a bottle and some other stuff at the officers, making the stop on that vehicle. So they ran over here, took him into custody. A lot of people around here. Most of the march that we were following has moved off to the south, but all those vehicles we were talking about earlier, this car came at a high rate of speed down Bronson, almost rear-ended a couple of them, and then they were talking with some other drivers And then when they tried to light up the car, it started speeding off, but they kind of pulled in front of it there to bring it to a stop before it ran into the trailing edge of the march that was going on.
Wow. So you have two things going on there, a fear for the marchers with a car coming at a high rate of speed, and then a bottle being thrown at officers, and they were quickly able to make an arrest there. Well, we've heard of injuries with officers, so you can see why they're concerned. Kevin, it looks like one person there arrested, but the vehicle there, police seem to be talking to that vehicle there without a problem.
Yeah, they're still holding that vehicle. They're detaining that vehicle, getting some more information on the possible looting situation that they were spotted in. But you can see it looks like they're going to let that car go now. Or they're going to move it off to the right side of them. And it looks like the female in the back is kind of fighting with officers now. She was shouting at them, and now they're trying to extract everybody out of the vehicle to work that investigation. It looks like they're starting to fight with officers down there.
So let's talk about the timing of all of this. So we've had a day full of peaceful protests throughout many different streets. It is now technically, what's going on here? Are we punching this person?
Now they're trying to pull him out because the car started moving forward as officers were in there. Now they're breaking everything to get them out of the vehicle because they're resisting arrest now to get out of the vehicle. So this is, like I said, this was at the end of, they came up on the end of the march. I don't think they meant to, but as they were running away from Hollywood Boulevard to the north, they almost ran into the back of the march that was going on southbound on Bronson here.
So what I was saying was, we're now after curfew. So, you know, all day long we've had these peaceful protests. Technically, you're not supposed to be in the street anymore. And my guess is that the police will probably give you some leeway if you're peacefully protesting and not bothering anybody. But if you do anything wrong now, they have the legal authority to take you under arrest, even just for a curfew violation. That gives them pretty broad authority to detain people and get them off the streets. And that's where we're at. And this, unfortunately, Christine, was around the time last night when we started seeing some problems.
Yeah, and to think that the car almost ran into protesters, you know, when I saw cars driving along with the protesters who were marching peacefully, you had to wonder if there was going to be any kind of incident with those cars and the protesters. And then to see this here, people resisting getting out of the vehicle when the officers are telling them to exit the vehicle. I can only imagine the visual of what's going on there on the ground, but looks like they were able to get that person out. The driver, though, is the concern because the car started moving with the officers right there.
Yeah, now as we go full screen, we get a better sense of what is going on here. It looks like that person is on the ground. Kevin, give us some more play-by-play.
Yeah, you know what? All three of them that were in the car were resisting. So they got in there. They punched the windows before they could lurch the car any farther forward there, because usually they had a lot of officers that were in front of the car. They were kind of dealing with that looting. What was suspected, those three suspects in the car were suspected of looting, and that's where the airship picked them up, moving at a high rate of speed, coming southbound before they ran into the back of the march there. And then they did get the car stopped, but they had to move it.